Hi, I'm Rachel Valencia, and I am 28 years old. I survived physical abuse. And here's my story.
When did you meet him?
I met my abuser when I was 15 years old in 10th grade. We were,
So he was your high school sweetheart?
yeah, we were high school sweethearts. Then he joined the military and we got married. 3.5 years into our relationship, we were married. Then I moved in with him November 27th of 2003.
Was there any abuse before you married him?
There wasn't any abuse from him to me, but I know his dad in the past abused him and his mother, and I just didn't think that he would do it to me. And he also said he would never want me to be the same way, victimized like his mother was.
So when did he start abusing you?
He began abusing me in February 2004. The first time he abused me, he shoved my head into the wall. Then,
when were you married?
We were married in August 15th, 2003.
So we waited until it was a while before anything happened.
Yeah, it was a few months. It was probably about 4 months of us living together before he started physically abusing me.
So go ahead. First time?
The first time he beat me, I'm not sure what happened, but I remember he shoved my head into a wall, and then he laid in bed and just cried because he never thought that he could do something like that. It made me feel bad for him. So I just kind of wrote it off. Then it began to increase. A couple weeks later, I had cooked chicken, and I didn't know how to cook. I cooked raw chicken, and he slams me on the bed and chokes me out because the chicken was raw. It was a little pink, and he was upset about that, so he slammed me on the bed and choked me out.
Did he apologize that time?
He didn't apologize. He had family in, so he locked me in the room and did that, and he didn't apologize. Probably, I don't know if he ever did. I can't tell you that. And then, he used to do stupid things, like he would come out of the bathroom and he was mad, so he kicked me in the stomach and I fell to the floor. He pushed my head back into the wall. He would squeeze my cheeks, and at the time I got braces when I was around 20 years old, and he squeezed my cheeks so hard that they would get cut, and I'd constantly bleed in my mouth because he would squeeze my cheeks. That's how he'd get me to listen, kind of like a mother does a toddler. He'd slap me in the face, of course. The first time I tried to leave him, he told me to get up. I was already in bed, and he told me, he was standing up by the light switch. He told me to get up and turn off the light, and I got up, or he's going to hit me. Well, I got up anyway to change the light, and he punched me in my arm so hard that I wasn't able to pick up I had a little puppy at the time. I was unable to pick up that puppy. I was unable to have any movement in that arm. So I slipped and told a friend who told a family member, my godmother, and they convinced me to leave him. I left him, and just all the pressure at home. I had anxiety, and with him on the other side begging me to come back, saying I need him, saying it won't be the same, I went back to him. And it was a few months later till he started up again. Of course he did. He slapped me in the face, knocking me to the floor. He threw a remote at me one time because I was standing in front of the TV. He threw a remote at me, breaking the remote hitting me in the head. And it broke the remote into a million pieces, and he bragged about that. I had to have 3 staples put in my head because it gashed my head open. And of course, I had a goose egg or robin's egg on the back of my head. And he also gave me my first black eye because I asked him about an email that said Love Christy at the end of it. And he turned off the lights because we were in base housing and everybody can see into the houses. He turned off the lights, and then he punched me in the eye, suffocated me, pushed my head into the couch, suffocating me, threw me to the floor, and then he hocked a loogie and spit in my face like I was a from a third world country. And he proceeded to do other stuff like that. Then finally, unfortunately what got me to leave or decide to leave him was I found out he was cheating on me by an STD. I found out he was cheating on me, so therefore I confronted him about it, and I knew something was going on because he beat me. He would come home on the weekends because he was in the military. He was going through, he was reclassing, so he was going through a school, and he was at a different base than I was. And he would come home, and he came home and beat me, and I didn't know why. I was like, I haven't done anything, I haven't said anything. Of course, I never really back-talked him like he would say or anything like that to provoke him. But he came and just threw me off the bed one time. I twisted my ankle, sprained my ankle, and at that time we had a roommate, and the roommate came in and needed to see that I was okay, and I lied to my roommate telling him I was okay. And all this time I did tell my family that nothing was happening, nothing was going on, they didn't need to worry about me, that everything was okay. And my coworkers, they were my friends. They just thought I was this bubbly girl who loved life and loved work and had a happy marriage. But I found out in 2007 he was cheating on me in about March, and he convinced me to live with him until I got on my feet, and probably because he thought it could change my mind and make me stay with him. So he would do stupid things like come and rip the covers off me and stuff like that. But then on October 29th, 2007, I was going to go out with a bunch of friends. Both of us were going to go out with a bunch of friends and dress up for Halloween because that's what we normally did for my birthday. And he didn't approve of my Halloween costume, so he got mad and he slapped me around. He pinched my face, and then he decided that wasn't enough. I think he could tell in my eyes that I just didn't love him anymore, and I was definitely going to leave him. So he goes and picks up a military-issued knife and takes it to my throat like this, and he's on top of me, and that's the first time I struggled to get him off of me because I was afraid. If I didn't get him off, he was going to kill me. So I pushed his arm back, and since I resisted him, he headbutted me so hard he knocked me unconscious. And then he thought, since I guess he just put the knife down, I don't know what happened because of course I blacked out. And eventually a friend came because she was supposed to go with us, and she took me around to places to find other friends, and we couldn't find anybody. Everybody was out and about, and I didn't want to ruin their night. I kept telling her I didn't want to ruin their night. So she brought me home. She stayed with me on my couch for 2 weeks. Of course, the next day he was very apologetic, and he made me she and I both breakfast. But we slept on the couch for 2 weeks because she was scared to death that I was going to die. December 1st, 2007, I went to work that day and came home. I only worked a half day, and I came home, and I wasn't feeling good, so I took a nap. Well, I got up, and he asked who I was. I had a phone call, and I was sitting in our recliner, and I said, "It's Chelsea," and he asked who it was, and I said, "It's Chelsea," just elevating my voice so he could hear. He didn't like that. He had a broom in his hand, so he beat me with the bristles of the broom, and I had my arms up like this because I was just sitting like this, rocking in the chair, and he beat me with the bristles of the broom. I had bristle marks all over my arms and my chest. And then he wasn't finished, of course. He took the phone, threw it, busted it, and I was on the phone with my friend Chelsea, who was the person who also took me around on Halloween of October 29th of 2007. He punched me so hard. I was sitting in fetal position. He punched me so hard between the legs. He bruised both of my inner thighs from my groin to my knees. He pushed the chair over, or he hocked a loogie, spit in my face. And that was the first time I started crying when he would beat me, because normally I would just get a blank expression on my face. I mastered that because I didn't want him to know that I was hurt or anything, because if you would cry or show any kind of emotion, your beatings were worse. He pushed over the chair, and I rolled over in fetal position, and he said, "Where's the bat? I'm getting the bat." And he used to search for tools and stuff to beat me with, of course, and stuff like that, but he never really did. And with the bat, I saw him raise it. It's a baseball bat. I saw him raise it over the top of his head. And then all I could do was just pray that, if I die, I'm going fast. Just please take me because I'm tired of this. And, excuse me. So he somehow dropped the bat. I don't know why, but he dropped it on the couch. Then he pushed me over, braced himself between the back of the chair and the couch, and threw all his weight into the knee on top of my chest. And then I couldn't breathe. I was gasping for air. I thought everything was broken. Luckily, after a hospital visit, I found out it wasn't. But he didn't know that, and I didn't know that at the time. So I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk, and he was asking me questions, say that you're going to behave and stuff like that, and I couldn't talk. I talked like that. I couldn't get anything out. So he punched me in the forehead. Then he went out to the garage to do his thing. My friend Chelsea, of course, came over. This all happened in a matter of minutes. She came over to the house, and we convinced him that everything was all right and that she was going to take me to Whataburger. I called the cops and never went back.
Do you forgive him?
I do. I don't forgive him because, for his benefit, I forgive him because I think he's mentally challenged. Somebody who does that to a person has mental issues. And I forgive him, honestly, for my benefit. Because holding a grudge against him makes me worse.
If you were going to give advice to somebody who was going through it right now, that's in your situation and hasn't left yet, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that the best thing is to get out, get safe. What I recommend doing is putting an outfit in your car to where no one can see it. Tuck it in your car. Put an outfit in there, toothbrush, save some money behind, and leave. Because there is light at the end of the tunnel. Go ahead.
And where should they go?
They should go to, there's many shelters that you can go to. And I know it sounds scary in that you don't want to be the victim or you don't want to, embarrass yourself or it's below you to go to a shelter. Go to a police station then. Go somewhere to a family's house that he doesn't know about. You need to go into hiding and you need to contact the authorities. Because he will come after you.
Is there anything else that you want to say that you haven't?
Yeah, I left him. We were divorced. Everything was over. I was in my own apartment and I came home one time. This is my first love. The guy who I thought would never do anything to me. He said he would never hurt me, anything like that. First love, first time experiencing intercourse, first time moving away from my family. This guy I had all my trust in. I come home from work one night and see him there on my couch. He proceeded to rape me, even after we're divorced. Do not let them know where you're going to be, because they will do that. He raped me. I didn't turn him in, but I haven't seen him since. And I am proud to say that I endured 3 years of counseling, and I read a lot of books. And for the past 5 years, I have not been in any kind of domestic violence relationships. There hasn't been. I've been in healthy relationships, of course. Some of them didn't work out. That's just how dating goes. But there is one that worked out. I am happily married for a year, and my husband now is committed to me, and he has never verbally, physically, financially, and even neglected me. He's never abused me in any way, shape, or form. And also, he attends counseling with me. He understands when we get in fights that he understands where I'm coming from. He knows that some guy will have to give you extra care. But I have confidence in myself. I built that up through the counseling, through reading the books, to where I was able to decipher the red flags that other men can show, or other women, whichever, they can show you, and there are small red flags. And if they do it once, they will do it again.